Welcome to 5% Radio, where it's all about learning like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. Please be sure to share and subscribe. What is up, and welcome back to another episode of the 5% Radio podcast. Today is episode number 47, nearing episode number 50. Crazy stuff there. Today I want to talk to you about something that both successful people and unsuccessful people hate equally. I'll dive into that in just a little bit here, but it is December 1st as of this recording. Crazy to think that Thanksgiving is already gone and we are getting into the Christmas season, then New Year's, and then spring, and it just goes faster and faster and faster. So, anyway, had a great holiday. Hope you did as well. If you're listening to this after the holiday, then have a great holiday on the next one. If you're listening to this like shortly after whatever the last holiday was, regardless of what season that was, I hope you enjoyed it with friends and family. But anyway, so I was listening to a talk by Darren Hardy earlier this past week. And Darren Hardy, if you don't know him, he's the guy that wrote I almost said invented. He wrote the book, The Compound Effect. And Albert Einstein was known for a quote that's famously attributed to him, and it was this, that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Now, the compound effect is not based on compound interest, but it is based on the power of compounding. And if you have not read that book, read the book. It's a quick read, very well worth the time. If you are not a reader, or if you want to read the book and listen to the audiobook at the exact same time, it is narrated by the author, which is awesome when authors do that, especially if they are speakers as well, because that just makes it 100 times better. You can find this on YouTube. Look up The Compound Effect audiobook. It is on YouTube. It is for free, and the speaker is absolutely phenomenal. Any of his talks, anything you can find from Darren Hardy is solid content. But anyway, one of the things that he talked about was the fact that successful people and unsuccessful people hate the exact same thing. Now, before I dive into that, I want to give you a concept that he talked about in that talk that really just hit me right between the eyes, and just currently with where we're at with building passive income and just the struggle that comes with the B-type income, building that lifestyle without doing OPM, which you'll hear a lot of people preach. Oh, there's nothing wrong with use other people's money, leverage debt. And they throw around these terms like, oh, leverage, and OPM and credit and blah, 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 and borrow this and borrow that. And that's all fine and dandy. If you want to go that route, I'm not going to, poo-poo on you for it. But there's a huge risk in that. And there's a lot of, this is totally risk safe and it's sheltered. And it's this and it's that. Like, at the end of the day, if you, quote unquote, leverage yourself into a deal and you get to a place where you are making passive income, that you are retired, so to speak, that you're living off passive income, and something goes wrong, then now you're immediately upside down on a loan and your cash flow is gone. So I am not a fan of doing that. So the way that my wife and I are developing our passive income is significantly different than what most people are doing. And it is, it requires time. It requires no money. I would much rather do that and come out of it with zero debt and be 100% cash flow positive, meaning it's all profit, than any other way. I've looked into a lot of other ways of doing this. This is the one that I chose for a reason. I'll talk more about that in some later episode, but one of the things he talked about in this talk that I want to get to is that you can never own success. You can only rent it. And here's the bad news. Rent is due every single day. You can never own success, and by that he means that it's never an arrival place. I talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but it's not a place that you get to. It's not an awakening. It's not I woke up one morning and I finally made it. Like you have to continue the work that was required to get you there. The work may look different at each level, but you cannot own that position, because if you stop, if you're in a river in a raft and you have rowed upstream to the point where you achieved the mark that you wanted to get to, if you stop rowing, if you stop stroking, if you shut the engine off, whatever the analogy is that you want to use, if you're going upstream and you stop all activity that got you upstream, what happens? You immediately go downstream. You immediately begin to regress. You go backwards. You lose ground. It's the same exact way in battle. It's the same way in finances. It's the same way in health, weight loss, relationships, anything. I grew up playing a lot of different instruments, piano, guitar, drums, all kinds of different stuff. And one of the things that one of my teachers always taught me, and he said it over and over and over again, is that piano is, quote unquote, the most unforgiving instrument of all. And by that, he meant that if I quit playing, I will begin to regress quickly. And more than that, I will begin to regress significantly. So it's one thing to regress fast. It's another thing to go down to a level of playing that you were playing, 3, 5, 8, 10 years ago, and you're like, dang, like I lost a lot quickly. And, I was like, oh, that sounds good, but I was practicing, half an hour a day, and I was playing outside of that just recreational time, an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 or 4 hours a day I would go through when I was younger. And I'll tie this back into a point, so stick with me. When I was younger, I would sit down at the piano and I would play every single piece that I knew. And if I messed up anything in the piece, I would start over. Sometimes I would start all the pieces over, but usually I would just start that song over, and I would play every single piece that I knew. Then I would do some scales, then I would do some improv, just playing whatever I felt like that day. And then I might just mess around with something totally new. I would do that over and over and over and over and over again. So when he told me piano was the most unforgiving instrument, I didn't really have experience with that yet. I'm like, intellectually, I know that. Intellectually, I know that if I stop going upstream, that I will immediately go back, that I'll start going downstream, but I had never experienced it. And this is my first really experience with you can never own success, you can only rent it. Another example is I did martial arts for years, literally from 5 to about 7.5 or 8, and then steadily from 9 to 22. Okay, like 22, 23, I got super busy, was working crazy schedule. I was salaried, I moved away, I started going to a different school to pursue a different style. But from the ages of about 5 to 22, on average, I was doing martial arts somewhere between 1 to 5 days a week. The bulk of my career in martial arts, I say career as in the time that I was actively training, teaching, everything else, was somewhere between 2 to 5 days a week, normally 3 days a week on the average, 4 or 5 days a week on the high end, and then sometimes there was special stuff outside of that, seminars, and maybe just myself and some of the instructors or some of the hungrier students got together, and we would train. And I went back to class probably in the last, I'll say 9 months. I hadn't actually been in a class in quite a while. We've had a kid, we've moved, got married, done all this other stuff, started my own business. Like things just got busy. We all have things in life that we look back on and you're like, man, I never really intended for that to drop off, but like things just got busy and I had to push other things off my plate to make room for something else more important, like family, like having a kid, like keeping your head above water in a self-employed business. The first year you start, just a lot of different things happen. And I went back to class and they were talking about stuff and I'm like, man, I can still do about 90% of this. Like I'm fine. Like I can spar, which would be like kickboxing essentially. I can grapple, which is, judo, jiu-jitsu, like wrestling, whatever. I can do that. That's totally fine. I know all the kicks, I know all the strikes, all the blocks, like none of that's foreign. But then they brought up something else and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forget the name of that, totally forget that technique, completely forget how to do that. And I had to do it a couple times before I was like, oh yeah, it's still there, get back on the bike. Okay, I'm worse than I remember, sort of thing. So that's another area. So the piano and the martial arts, look back on something in your life and think about the fact that you thought you owned that skill. You thought you owned that arrival point, that destination, that level, whatever that was. And you haven't done it in a long time and you came back to it and you're like, oh my gosh, I quit paying rent and that skill began to leave me. See, if you skip the payments long enough, meaning if you're not doing what it takes consistently to progress or to maintain at least, then rent's going to come due. Like whether you have it or not, you might think you own it. You might think, well, I'm so good at this, I'll never lose it. Oh, it's like riding a bike. You never forget. Not necessarily. There are specific things that you need to do consistently enough. One of the authors and speakers that I follow very closely says that success is made up of consistently productive daily habits. Let me say that again. Consistently productive daily habits. And let me get into the meat of the episode. See, the thing is that successful and unsuccessful people actually hate the exact same thing, and that is everything that it takes to be successful. Everything that it takes to be successful for a top-level bodybuilder, he hates the stuff that he has to do. He hates the intense cardio. He hates cutting weight. He hates, I was watching a video of Chris Bumstead. If you're not into lifting, then I apologize, but C-Bum, as they call him, Chris Bumstead, 5 times Mr. Olympia, just retired, tore his lat, tore some other, pretty major muscles this past season, I believe, or the season before, and he's retired, but did a phenomenal job, has an autoimmune disorder, all this other stuff, huge dude, has done amazing, overcame a lot of stuff, and is at the top of the top of the top. And I was watching a video of him making and eating his meals while he was cutting, and you could just see, dude, this sucks. I'm tired of eating this. I'm tired of adding lettuce to my meals so it feels like more. I'm tired of having fish when I'd like to have steak. I'm tired of having one egg with hot sauce and a bunch of other stuff mixed in when I would rather have something else. I'm tired of drinking so much water. I'm tired of feeling so depleted and going into the gym anyway. I'm tired of going to bed early. Like I'm tired of the same shake that I've had 4 times today. Like all these things that you could see on his face and in his interview as he's talking to his cameraman, like basically like in a word, this sucks, but he was doing it for what was on the other side. So I think many times we get confused and we have this illusion that successful people just, man, like they're aliens, they're superhumans, like they're just, how do they keep doing and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it? They just do, period. They just make a decision. Again, talked about that in a previous episode. They make a decision and they stick with it. See, unsuccessful people make new decisions every single day. They'll make a decision like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to wake up tomorrow at such and such time and go to the gym. And then they wake up the next morning and they're like, you know what, let me rethink that decision. And then they justify and they tell rational lies to themselves. They rationalize why tomorrow would be a better day. Whereas the successful person, like my buddy Ed, goes to the gym that I go to. Dude's lost a ton of weight. Like I think he's close to or over 100 pounds. Absolutely killing it. Ed, if you listen to the show, shout out, man. You're doing awesome. You're absolutely crushing it. Super proud of you. You are setting such a great example for people that are in that situation of where you came from, where you're at now, where you're going. Very inspired by watching that whole thing. And I really am. If you're listening, man, I'm genuinely proud of what you're doing. But Ed, I'm sure he had plenty of days where he woke up and he's like, you know what? I don't want to say no to the delicious food again. I don't want to eat only this many calories. I don't want to drink another gallon. I don't want to have black coffee when I would rather have cream and all the syrups and all the sugars. And I don't want to say no to free pizza again at work. And I don't want to. The difference is the unsuccessful person turns that voice up and they're like, yeah, that's a great point. Why should I have to? And they just go with it. The successful person takes that voice, they reach over to their knob for their negative thinking, and they turn it down and they're like, shut up. I don't want to. I know it sucks. Yes, that's true. Would it be easier to have chocolate cake than a salad today for lunch? Absolutely, but I'm doing it anyway. See, successful people and unsuccessful people hate the exact same things. The person who's killing it in your industry, career, job, business type, whatever they're doing, the person who's killing it at the commission-only sales job that you're at currently, they hate the same stuff you hate. They hate making the extra call. They hate waking up and getting into the office early to go over their scripts, to role play, to cover objections, to go through another sales training module. They hate all that stuff. The person who's killing it in car sales hates the fact that he has to go out and get referrals, hates the fact that he has to make another phone call. Like, there are things that everyone hates. I told a group this. I was speaking earlier this week, and I said, okay, about 80% of what you currently do, you might enjoy. Because I was showing a guy a way to get financially free, and he's like, well, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, do you enjoy everything you do about what you currently do for a living? He's like, no. He starts laughing. He's like, absolutely not. I'm like, you probably enjoy, because he went into it intentionally. He's a business owner. I'm like, you probably enjoy about, what, 80%? Like 80% of it you're cool with. Like, man, I can do this all day. Like, it's great. I said, there's probably another 20% that you're like, dude, this sucks. Like, I hate this. I hate everything about this. And every time you do that 20%, you're like, why am I still doing this? You're doing it for the 80%. You're not doing it for the pieces that you like, the pieces that are easy. You're doing it because you know that you're going to be successful and you're going to have to do it anyway. So you just keep doing it. The person who's cutting weight is hungry tonight going to bed. They woke up hungry this morning. They went into the gym and they felt depleted. They didn't feel awesome during their workout. Guess what? They did the workout anyway. Guess what? They came home, ate the right food, took the supplements, drank the water, said no to the cheat meal. They did all that stuff anyway, even though everything in them wanted to do the wrong thing. Again, successful people and unsuccessful people hate the same thing. The difference is successful people make the choice once and they manage that decision permanently until the goal is reached. They do the work anyway. See, the thing about success in any area, I don't care if it's weight, your relationship with your spouse. See, here's the thing. It's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. It's easy for me to say the right thing to my wife and make sure that there's not an argument caused and that she knows that she's loved and that she knows that I support her and that I appreciate what she's doing in our home to help raise our little guy and all the roles that she has in our family that I could try to play but cannot do as well as her. Like, I appreciate those things so much. And if I come in from having a quote-unquote bad day, by the way, Abraham Lincoln said as a man is about as happy as he makes up his mind to be. So if I come in and I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like holding my tongue today. Again, easy to do. Easy to say, you know what, I'll do the right thing. Also easy not to do. Easy for me to be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna let her know how I feel. Same thing with friends. One of your friends gives you a lame excuse and they made a commitment and they're dropping the ball on that commitment. It's super easy for you to take a massive withdrawal from their emotional bank account, so to speak, and say, you know what? I'm sick of this garbage. Every time you make a commitment to me, you always break it. Man, I can't trust you. Your word is worthless, blah. Like, it's super easy to do that, but it's also easy to make the right choice and not do that and hold your tongue. Success is easy to do. It's also easy not to do. Jim Rohn was famous for a quote that said this. He said, in life, you will suffer one of two pains. Notice he said, you will suffer. He didn't say you might. He didn't say there's a chance. He didn't say if you want to be successful, you'll suffer. He said, in life, you will suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. He went on to say this. He said, the pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. So in life, you're going to suffer. You'll suffer now from artificial discipline, meaning I'm forcing myself to do stuff I don't want to do, or you will suffer later from the pain of regret. I wish I had done what I knew I was supposed to do, but didn't make myself do. Let's zoom out and look at a macro perspective. When you were growing up, there were probably things that you wanted that your parents did not allow you to have. For example, your parents actually made you go to bed. They didn't let you stay up all night. They didn't let you watch TV 12 hours a day. If they did, shame on them, and I apologize for your brain suffering through that because that's horrible for you. They didn't let you eat whatever you wanted. Like if there was a bowl of ice cream, they weren't like, here, son, have a bite. You know what? Just have the entire thing. They didn't send you to bed into your room like, all right, son, here's a 2-liter of Mountain Dew. Like you drink as much as, like they gave you a little bit of things and then they're like, nope, we're going to cut it off. That's all he's allowed to get. Again, easy to do, easy not to do, but there were certain things that they disciplined into you. We don't do this and we do this for these reasons. There's fruit in that at the end of it. If they would have said, you know what? We'll let him do whatever he wants. We'll let him hang out with little Johnny down the road who's smoking cigarettes when he's 7 years old, and we'll let him watch R-rated movies from the time he's like 3 years old, and he can hang out with whoever he wants. He can go wherever he wants. He has no bedtime. He can sleep in as late as he wants. He can skip school. He can do this. He's going to start drinking coffee at 5 if he wants to. Like, we're never going to discipline him. He can yell at us. He can scream at us. He can smack us on the face. Like, we're never going to tell him that enough is enough. We're never going to draw a line because I want him to be free. Like, see, our society says that, oh, well, freedom is getting to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with who you want. Like, if I want this food, I'm free to have it. Like, no, you're really not. The illusion is that you're free to do it and that there's no consequence. Long term, when you're 40 years old and you get the report that, hey, you have heart disease and you have this and you have that, and there's 90% blockage in this, we're going to have to do triple bypass surgery. And if you don't change your diet after this, you're probably going to die by the age of, 48, maybe 50. And you probably have weeks left with your family if we don't do this surgery right now. What would you like to do, Mr. Smith? Like that illusion of freedom, meaning I don't have to be disciplined. I can have whatever I want. That's the pain of regret. And that weighs tons. Again, Jim Rohn, in life, you will suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. See, here's the thing. Muhammad Ali, who is known to be one of the greatest boxers of his time, and he always told himself, I am the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, over and over and over and over. He would repeat this mantra to himself, and he would say it out loud to people. See, he didn't initially believe, I am the greatest. But he told himself that over and over and over again, and he did the work to back it up, and he became one of the best of all time. But he was asked about his workouts, about, basically everything it took for him to get to the top, and this is what he had to say. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. So let me ask you this. Now that you understand that successful people and unsuccessful people hate the same thing, now that you get the fact that you can never own success, that rent is due every single day, and now that you understand that in life you can suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, and I've talked about stuff like this on previous episodes, like the episode where I mentioned that if you take the easy way out of life, life will get harder. If you take the hard way out of life, life will get easier. Let me ask you this. How many success choices did you make yesterday in the right direction? Meaning, when I say success choices, I'm not speaking about anything in particular, nothing specific. What I'm asking is how many choices in the right direction, moving you towards your goals that you hated to do, probably, that you didn't feel like doing, that you weren't motivated for, that you didn't have the drive to do, that you we're like, man, I really do not want to do this. How many of those things did you do anyway? Because if you could continually do the things that it takes to be successful, and you will learn from your lessons on the way. One of the things that I try to ask myself every single week, and then that's at the micro level, and then every single month at the macro level in my business is, where did we win? Where did we lose? And what can I learn? Where did we win? Where did we lose? And what can I learn? The episode where I talked about PDCA, I believe it was episode number 16, I mentioned this in detail, but where did we win? What went well? Where did we lose? What went wrong? What went horribly? And then what can we learn? How many success choices? What were the things that you did that you might not have felt like doing, but you did them anyway? And how can I take that number? Maybe I made 3 of the right choices today that I didn't feel like doing. How can I win that battle, take the right turn at the fork in the road, choose yes instead of no on the things that are easy to do, but also easy not to do? How can I take that and make more of those right choices tomorrow? Because if I can make more right choices tomorrow than I did today and continually move in the right direction, and say yes to the things that will take me forward, no to the things that will keep me standing still, or worse yet, backwards, the analogy of going downstream, if I do that over time and I compound that, the compound effect by Darren Hardy, I can move closer to and eventually realize the success that I would like to have, and then I can choose again to pay rent every single day to keep it or to grow it and go further. See, here's the biggest difference between good choices and bad choices, and here's the thing that really messes with people's heads. Good choices, for example, I'm at a restaurant and I choose to have a salad for lunch, and I do water with lemon, and I skip dessert. That chicken salad with a low-calorie dressing, I didn't say low-fat. I hate when people talk about low-fat. I can have that salad and a water with lemon, and I can skip dessert. I can do that. That's a good choice. And my reward for that, get this, ready, is nothing. My reward is nothing. Like, I had a salad with a low-calorie dressing, which means it probably was not the most delicious dressing in the world, and I had water. I didn't have sweet tea. I didn't have raspberry tea. I didn't have pop. I didn't have anything else. Didn't have anything exciting. I had a salad with a protein source, a low-calorie dressing, and water. Okay? Good choice. Easy to do. Easy not to do. Good choice equals nothing now. Bad choice. I have chocolate cake after my meal, and for my meal, I have a burger with fries, a side of extra ranch, as much cheese as they can put on there, and the thing is just dripping with grease. Oh, and can I also have a milkshake with that? So I have a burger covered in grease, fries, extra ranch, a milkshake, and then for dessert, heck yeah, I would like dessert, ma'am. I will take, or sir, waiter, waitress, whatever, I'll take chocolate cake. Yeah, that thing with a little scoop of ice cream and like the lava in the middle, that's what I would like. Thank you. Good choice. I had a salad, water, no dessert, boring, protein source, greens, low-calorie dressing, water with lemon, no dessert, no thank you. I'm on a diet. I'm trying to cut weight. I'm trying to be healthier. I'm a health nut. No thanks. Good choice equals nothing now. No reward. Zero. Zip. Nada. Like, you just had a salad, and now you're wishing you had something else because everything everyone else was eating looked way better than yours because it was going to taste amazing if you had it. Good choice. I get nothing now. Bad choice. I get immediate reward. I get immediate gratification. Taste amazing. My taste buds are never been happier in my mouth. Oh my gosh, this is the best hamburger. These fries are incredible. This milkshake, oh, it feels so good. Like, oh, this is amazing. I'm gonna explode. Like, this is just, it's so good. It's amazing. Immediate reward. Here's the deal though. Down the road, the good choices compounded over time. Again, fork in the road. How many of those success choices did you make today? How many more can you make tomorrow? I want to keep going against what I want for the right thing. I want what I want down the road more than what I want now. Discipline and long-term vision is about making a choice based on what you want most versus what you want now. I can make a heat of the moment decision. Oh, but it'd be so good. And then I have that immediate gratification, that immediate reward. Oh, this is amazing. It's, everything about it is wonderful. Until about 30 minutes after I ate that food, and then I start to feel like garbage. And then if I compound that choice, the bad choice, over a year or 2 years or 3 years, huge difference. And the analogy was given in Darren Hardy's talk, and in his book, The Compound Effect. He gives an example of these 3 different friends, Larry, Scott, and Brad. Larry basically plods along, doing as he's always done. Scott decides to make some small, seemingly inconsequential changes in a positive direction, like reading 10 pages a day, listening to some self-improvement audios, maybe some finance talks, relationships, leadership, personal development, that kind of thing. He cuts 125 calories out of his diet every day by trading a can of soda for water instead, and he starts walking a couple extra thousand steps a day, which is not hard to do. Brad, on the other hand, makes a few poor choices per day, just a little bit. He invests, quote-unquote invest, into a big screen TV so he can enjoy more of his favorite shows. He starts eating dessert more often and puts a new bar in his family room, which leads him to add about one more drink in per week. Nothing crazy. Brad is just looking for a little more fun. 10 months later, there's no perceivable difference seen. But if you fast track this 25 months, just a little over 2 years, we start seeing measurable, visual differences. At month 27, we see an expansive difference, and by month 31, the change is startling. Brad is now fat while Scott is trim. After investing 1,000 hours in reading good books and listening to self-improvement audios, Scott has earned a promotion at work, and his marriage is thriving. Brad, on the other hand, got sluggish from the weight gain, started feeling worse about himself, and started retreating from his wife, which led to marital demise. In other words, his marriage has gone under or is now really nothing. You ever meet people that are just married because they're stubborn, but the relationship quality is terrible? That's pretty much where this guy's at. Larry, on the other hand, who basically kept doing the exact same thing, is exactly where he was 2 years ago, but he's now bitter about it. Because 2 years have gone by, one of his friends progressed in a positive direction, one got worse. For him, nothing changed. But you get the picture. It's really the small habits that we create along the way. It's those small success decisions that we choose to make every single day that determine whether or not you get your goals or you end up further away from them. Now, along the way, if you look at the analogy, again, this is another thing that he talked about and that he wrote about. If you look at the analogy of a penny a day doubled, if you were to ask someone, do you want $1 million right now cash, or do you want me to give you a penny a day and double it? If they had not heard the actual analogy, if they had not ever learned the math that comes at the end of that, which is some ridiculous number close to or just over $10 million, if they'd never heard that, if they take $1 million cash up front, they look like the smart one. Short term, they're like, man, I'm having way more fun. Like I'm throwing parties. I'm the one who's enjoying things. You're the idiot. I said yes to what I wanted now. You're saying yes to what you want most. You look like a fool to me. I'm the one driving the newest vehicle. I'm the one who just bought a bigger house. I'm the one who just took an expensive vacation. I'm the one who just divorced my wife and I'm dating someone half my age. I'm the one who's been skipping the gym to go hang out with my friends for the weekend in a different state because I'm traveling all the time. I'm the one who's blowing my money. I don't even have the money, but I'm spending more than I have now. Dude, I'm having a blast. Like, you're so uptight. You're ridiculous. That person looks like they're winning short term. In the world's eyes, in the 95% world, again, we're talking about successful people and unsuccessful people hating doing the exact same thing, and you're listening to 5% radio, meaning you're wanting to go in a different direction than the 95%. To the 95% world, they're like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, why would you do those things right now? You don't have to do that. Have the chocolate cake. Spend the money. Forget building passive income. Forget trying to progress. Forget trying to reach for your goals. Like, dude, we're having fun. Come party with us. Take some time off. That's what things look like to them. And to them, the person who is looking further down the road is a total fool. Because they're not doing what's fun. They're not doing what's convenient. They're not taking the easy way out. And because of that, they're taking the hard way out now. Life will get easier. The person who is eating chocolate cake every day, so to speak, immediate gratification, man, things are awesome right now. I promise you, this is not how the world works. You don't get to take the easy way out and things get better. It never happens that way ever in any field. Your relationships, your career, your income, your children, nothing. Everything you don't want to do leads to what you actually want long term. 4 questions, and we are going to put a bow on this puppy and wrap it up. Number 1, are you doing it? Meaning, are you doing what it takes for you to be successful in your field? Only you can actually know what that is. Only the people who are killing it in your field can tell you what that is, but you know what that is. And if you don't know, go ask. What do I need to be doing? Question number 1, are you doing that? Question number 2, am I doing enough of it? This is something that Alex Hormozy talks about. A lot of people are doing the right things, but they're not doing enough of the right things. In other words, I can make sales calls, me and the guy in the office who's the best on our straight commission sales force. This is an analogy. I'm not actually on a straight commission sales force. Please note that. Me and the guy in the office, we both make phone calls. So you can self-deceive you can say, yes, I'm doing it. Totally just disillusioned. Yes, I'm doing it. But are you doing enough of it? So you make 100 a day, he's making 120. You have 30 appointments a month, he has 45. He has 40. He has 37. He's doing more than you. So are you doing it? Question number 1. Question number 2, are you doing enough of it? Question number 3, have you mastered it? Have you put the time in? Question number 4, if you say that you've mastered it, would your results reflect or prove mastery? A lot of people look at things and they think, well, I'm doing something, so I'll do more of this something, and if that doesn't work, I'll do something else. I'll do something new. So again, something that Alex Hormozi talks about in, I believe it's his book, $100 Million Leads, that just released in the past 3 months. He talks about more is better than better, and better is better than new. In other words, doing more of something, like at first you don't even have to improve it. Like you just need to do more of it. Up your volume. Do more. So first, do more of what you know you should be doing. Secondly, do the same volume and make it better. So now what you were already doing is now becoming more effective. So I went from doing 100 to 120 every day, and then I made those 120 more effective and more effective and more effective until you've absolutely optimized the living crap out of it. I can't make it any better. But just everything we've tried, this is the highest conversion or the highest result, the highest output for the input that we're doing. We can't get any better. Then do something new. Duplicate before you iterate. In other words, do what you know is working before you try to change anything. So question number 1, are you doing it? Question number 2, are you doing enough of it? Question number 3, have you mastered it? Question number 4, if you said yes to question number 3, would your results prove that you have mastered it? Again, guys, I hope the content helps. I am doing my absolute best to share with you what we are learning on the journey, the things that I'm realizing, and sometimes it's really more important to be reminded than it is to be instructed. Sometimes you might want to hear something new, and the novelty, the dopamine hit of like, oh, I heard something new, but really that might not be what you need. What you might need is being reminded of what you already know. So rent is due. Go pay it. I'll give you guys a personal update in the coming episodes here fairly soon, and I'll talk to you in episode number 48.